Hello, people. Welcome to... I've mentioned Warhammer a number of times, but this is the first time I'm getting into Warhammer, because this is one of the few things that I don't think ever really gets addressed a tremendous amount within the Warhammer community, and the lore is that the Emperor is kind of dumb. The game in the background, by the way, is Dawn of War Soulstorm. You can pick it up pretty cheap in the Steam store if you are interested in RTSs, and they haven't made a tremendously amount better than this. Surprisingly, this was a really good game back in the day. Mind you, that was when I was in high school, so I'm dating myself by bringing that up. Anyways, point is that of the 9 Chaos Primarchs, realistically, why would you expect 7 of them to ever have stayed loyal to the Imperium? On one hand, you have 2 obvious rebels from their meeting with the Emperor of Mankind, which is Mortarion of the Death Guard and Angron of the World Eaters. Mortarion, of course, was pretty blunt about it, to be honest, and Angron was as well, where they both met the Emperor under lackluster conditions. Mortarion was denied his life's goal of killing his adopted father, who was an inhuman warlord of some kind. I don't believe that there's any race ever been fully revealed on the matter. May have just been a mutant of some kind. But anyways, the Emperor killed him and denied Mortarion his goal there. Now, it was to save Mortarion, and Angron in the same case. Angron was saved from his gladiator rebellion, which he wanted to finish. Wanted to finish off and die with his men. And the Emperor teleported him away from them in the middle of the night, and then they got slaughtered, being leaderless. He could have brought the entire gladiator army with him. I mean, Lionel Johnson brought his knights with him. Various other Primarchs brought people to basically take up arms within the Imperial apparatus. Same could have been done here. Wasn't done. So you have 2 obvious rebels there. On top of that, you have 2 Primarchs that the Emperor himself did a tremendous disservice to, and that is looking at, on one hand, Lorgar, who was a highly religious Primarch who wanted an outlet for his spiritual needs, and the Emperor bitch-slapped him with Guilliman, basically, and destroyed his perfect city, his perfect planet, and so on. Thus creating another probable traitor right there. And of course, Lorgar is your first traitor, so to speak. And then Magnus the Red with the Edict of Nicaea, with the complete lack of any explanation as to why the Psykers couldn't be used, and the utter hypocrisy of the matter when it comes down to it. I mean, the Emperor created Psykers in his Space Marine Corps. He allowed the Librarians to be created. Now he takes it away. It's like, it's a human nature thing of, like, you cannot prohibition what you have allowed to happen. And he did that. And then on top of that, you have him trying to warn him, and then, of course, the burning of Prospero and so on leads to another largely traitor there. Then you have Conrad Kurz of the Night Lords, who has death dreams about himself being killed by the Emperor, being finished by the Emperor, being the Emperor being his doom. And we know Fulgrim knew about those. We know Rogel Dorn knew about those. So it's kind of hard to think of like a reason why the Emperor wouldn't have known. And again, nothing really done there. And then further along the line, you have the mistreatment of Alfarius by his brothers, Perturabo by his brothers, and also by the Emperor himself, kind of inadvertently. I mean, he spent very little time with Alfarius. So there's that. And then on top of that, I mean, to be honest, the fact that more than 9 Space Marine legions did not turn on the Emperor, who didn't do a very good job of convincing some of them that there was, like, a place in the Imperium long term for them, And as a result, the need to rebel if you're Jagatai Khan or Sanguinius or even Lionel Johnson just because he's a moody motherfucker. Like, it's stunning that these Primarchs actually stayed with him. And it's further complicated by the fact that we know from various Horus Heresy novels, various other novels, that the idea that the Imperium definitely destroyed at least one of the two Forgotten Legions, probably through Leman Russ, that he didn't get rid of, say, the World Eaters, the Word Bearers, the Death Guard, and the Night Lords, who were just rebellion waiting to happen. Maybe you can redeem the Alpha Legion and the Thousand Sons if you allow the Psychers to continue. Maybe you can redeem the Iron Warriors, but it seems really, really unlikely. So again, kind of felt, oh, why are my guys attacking the plasma generator? This is why I lost the Cultist squad in this game. Oh well. So you have this born to be rebellion here, and then as the Horus Heresy goes on, the refusal to deal the death blow via the Assassinorium onto Horus, the refusal to take the field himself. Like, the Horus Heresy, we blame on Horus, but realistically, it's just bad parenting. Like, I have a not great relationship with my father, and it trumps, like, most of the Primarch's relationship with the Emperor. It's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, that's kind of, this is kind of my, like, brief rant on the matter of, like, honestly, if the Emperor is as powerful as he's supposed to be, and I have no reason to believe that he isn't, it feels almost like he had to want the Horus Heresy to happen. That, of course, leads to the idea that he was always wanting to create the cult of the Imperium, the cult of the Emperor, and that he was always looking to have complete and he was always looking to end up on the throne. Because from the point where Magnus the Red is, where the scouring of Prospero is declared by the Emperor to go for the Space Wolves to attack them, there was no way that anyone else was going to be sitting on that throne. So there's that fact of the matter. So I don't know. What do you guys think? This is kind of like an anti Big E thought on the matter of how the Horus Heresy, it honestly, it feels almost like the Dark Gods needed to do virtually nothing. That it was just a powder keg waiting to happen. And that, yeah, sure, bringing Horus onto the side of the traitors, fairly key, fairly charismatic leader required. But that, to be honest, again, you just had ripe for the pickings. So really, Horus and Fulgrim are your only two surprising traitor Primarchs, because they kind of fit within the grander Imperium scheme. Like, it's just hard to figure out where the other 7 fit, or where they would think that they fit, based on their relationship with the Emperor and with the Imperium at its large. Ooh, Chaos Lord on the field! That's kind of really all I had on this topic, to be honest. We'll give it to the end of this game, because this game's pretty short, and I'll just kind of off the cuff think of some things here. So let me know what you think. Like, is the Horus Heresy this horribly obvious thing, or is it something that the Emperor in no way could have perceived and is really kind of blameless for? I don't think so. I think that it's definitely a hard one that I'm never really going to see what he thought was going to thought was going to happen with the whole thing. And also, is it a case of where the Adeptus Astartes were really just the Thunder Warriors 2.0 again, and he would have gotten rid of them probably at the end of the Great Crusade? Or were they someone who had, like, warmth and a place in his heart? Because even throughout the Horus Heresy, his encounters with Korax and Vulcan, are remarkably cold, I guess is what I'm getting at, in terms of how things happened. So, I don't know. Emperor of Mankind, terrible father leads to rebellion, or genius diabolical Horus actually making something happen and the dark gods playing their role. I don't know. We'll call it a day on that one, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the videos here, and we'll see what happens with this kind of long term, because really I kind of formed this channel to do Battletech and Mech Warrior stuff, but it's growing over time. We got some racing stuff coming up here, and now we have Warhammer creeping in.